I eventually had to tell this client to go to another clinic, and they used her to threaten them, and she was the most significantly affected of all of my clients. I eventually had to tell this client too much that it leaves my genitals painfully raw, making it hard to walk or sit or go to the bathroom. I would now like to talk about the people around me being manipulated by these electronic weapons as well. There does not appear to be a need for microchips or nanotechnologies to manipulate the minds and bodies of anyone around me, anywhere in the world, which I have repeatedly witnessed. For example, they make people around me burp, hiccup, and sneeze repeatedly, especially the sneezing, because the V2K says it's like an orgasm. So they make people around me sneeze excessively to threaten more sexual assaults. I am currently a speech-language pathologist working in private practice with young children. I had a 7-year-old client who has autism, and she was the most significantly affected of all of my clients. I eventually had to tell this client to go to another clinic, and they used her to threaten the most torture in me, as well as their most extreme forms of torture. For several months, she would cry and scream horribly during our therapy sessions, despite having a great day at school. This was highly unusual behavior for her, as she usually behaved very well during her therapy sessions and had been making incredible progress on all of her therapy goals. This was used to threaten extreme torture on me, making me scream and cry, etc. They would make the kids act out the kinds of torture that would later be done on me. For example, they would also sometimes make her bite her hand, threatening to make me bite my hands, as they often do. One day, she had a large, severe bite mark on her arm. She has also grabbed her crotch, saying, "Ow," and this was used to threaten me with severe sexual torture. One day, I also observed her gasping for air a few times in the same way that I do. I also experienced what is referred to as malodorance. This is the alteration of the smell sensation, so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat of planted dreams and videos in my closed eyes. Specific foods or things like flowers, etc. Feces, urine, and also they often do this
thing into account so much and make it so dramatic. It is dramatic. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. Disgusting things. I just can't take this whole thing into account so much and make it so dramatic. It is dramatic. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. This disgusting things. You saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting things that I don't even want to talk about because it makes me sick. I don't even like those words in my mind. But it is what it is. So I have no choice now but to acknowledge that there are people in my surroundings or whatever they're doing. I don't know how they do it. I don't care. I don't know if it's through weapons. I don't know. I don't care. I just don't want it. I don't want it in my life.
And I'm like, bro, really? You're not a woman. What real woman would stalk another female or sit back and allow that to go on? You really think they think it's nothing wrong with them?
your own thoughts from happening and replace them with other thoughts by sending thoughts to your head. And it's so sophisticated that you cannot tell where these thoughts are coming from. There's no way to discern that they're coming from somewhere other than your own mind. So you can imagine
those that the crime is being committed against. We need your support and help in ending this crime.
Hello, my name is Wendy Brown. I'm a targeted individual who is living in New Zealand, but my targeting began in California. I'm an American citizen.
can be monitored and tracked in real time. It can literally stop your own thoughts from happening and replace them with other thoughts by sending thoughts to your head. And it's so sophisticated that you cannot tell where these thoughts are coming from. There's no way to discern that they're
So something I will always do is bring reality. These people, as they come up with their own reality to make themselves believe that what they're part of some kind of it's different from reality. You know, I heard this trash. Somebody say, "I grow up our kids or grow up," and they make me think of this little kid that fell down, this little baby, just like learning how to maybe learning how to walk. I think maybe 2 years maximum, 2 years old, and she fell down when she hit my foot. Right, I was trying to look away. I was looking away just like because I know this. They made this baby walk by me, so when I look at her, they're gonna do these nasty things. But she hit her foot on against mine. She fell down, and I was like, okay, I gotta help this baby. I'm not gonna just stand there and do nothing. So I picked her up and guided her to her brother who was right in front of him. Right, and I was like, okay. And I walk, I just held her head, like top of the head, and just moved it like toward the brother. Now this is in the lobby, right? They try to come up with this nasty, you grope this, like it's just nasty stories. Like they come up with these disturbing things that they and it's just nasty. And then even like when they were trying to create something when I picked her up because I picked her up from under her arms. And it's like, oh, when you grabbed it like that, like you felt her chest. It's like this is a 2-year-old baby. It's so nasty, disgusting. But this is the things they make you think. And create this version. And then before that, they make me think of I was at the airport and there was this little girl, little toddler girl, little baby, maybe 3, 4 years old, just running. The way they tried to make me, the way they were making me, not even try, sorry, the way they were making me perceive this baby, just her, this little kid's butt. It's so disgusting. It's disgusting. They have these things that they turn into nasty sexual things, just disturbing things, and that's the things they do. They're disgusting people, and they try to counter that and make you believe that you're the one who who should be feeling guilty, when in reality these people are the sick low lives trash that force people to accept this nasty manipulation of thoughts. Of course I know it's what these people do. Of course, this is why always when you hear this testimony you hear somebody say the same thing I say, the nasty pedophilia ways, disgusting pedophilia thoughts of manipulations, the way they force you to think of children, to see children. It's just disgusting ways, and that's what been doing to others. I know it's not me. And so you hear this trash trying to counter us like, oh, you molest our children, or you grow up our like some BS. Like, no, you trash, low life, torture children, and do these pedophilia things. They force people, adults, men and women, to experience these nasty thoughts and perceptions that are pedophilia centric because you do these things systematically. And they use this trash, these bottom feeders, that they use this different tone of, they want to come up with a way to counter reality. They come up with this nastiness and then try to make you feel guilty, and it's like, oh, these horrible things will happen to you because of those thoughts, those perceptions, which are manipulated into that person. So no, these horrible things are going to happen to me because I'm a targeting individual who was put in this program by his old employer, who is influenceable, and now you do these nasty things to me psychologically, and you're going to do this physically, and you use this trash like low life that just are contracted by the government to do these nasty things. and it's gonna happen till the end. And this low life bottom feeders will get a time when things come back to them. These people were are sorry cowards, low life, and peddles. And on top of that, you find out those people really on top of these programs, these people involved in these agencies, part of those agencies, filled with pedophiles. And so this way you have these people who have no problem saying these nasty things. Because reality to them is just they're gonna project this false reality. Like this reality they try to project onto you is the reality they live in. That's their low life. And then they have like, oh, apparently they're the something and you're the nothing. They have really tricked themselves to think that they're the something. There's something who says things like that, who do things like that, who's involved in this thing. And you're the nothing. And these people are the something. You see how delusional they've become? They've manipulated me and tried to gaslight me in every ways to try to make me accept these things. Every time, every ways they try to counter reality with forcing me to have thoughts of certain ways to try to counter. It's like, no, I will not let you guys live that fantasy you've created. Quote unquote, you are the something who day in and day out force people to think in these pedophile ways, use this technology not only onto adult people, but it's also children in the most cowardly way, and you're the something. You understand? They will tell me about all the different torture, which I definitely believe that torture is going to be up and implemented onto me. Different type of torture. But one thing is for sure, I will never let them live their fantasy. These people are coward, low life that even torture children. And I try to create a theater to to cover up the reality of these people are a bunch of trash that torture children and women and force people to think in these disgusting ways, pedophilia ways. And they're doing things systematically, so it's gonna happen consistently the same way. Trash. And they say like, oh, it won't. These same people who call people nothing when they're doing these nasty things. Of course, they had to lure themselves into this false reality, and they're gonna stay in it until that moment is over. I don't care when. To me, I see them as the bottom feeders. I also am thankful, and I need to continue to pray and be thankful now because there'll be a time when I won't be able to do that. There'll be a time when I will be too much in pain to be thankful to God because what should be thankful for is I could be living this slow like this slow life that just call themselves gods. These bottom feeders and using this tonality to try to sound like mysticful when they're just trash. You see them, you're like, oh my gosh, okay, you're God. I know they're saying that to agitate me, but I mean, I don't think they should even say that for agitation purposes, right? Because they bottom feeders, they weak low life, this trash. You see them, you're like, oh my gosh, you're the god. You okay? Mm. And I know, of course, they're saying that just to disturb me. You look at it, it's like, whoa, maybe even disturbing me. Let's just say that they look like what they do, truly do. They look like bottom feeders that stay in and out, just stay day in and day out to do these horrible things, waiting for you to break down. Well, these people are not looking like they're getting better. You understand? And they're whispering behind the doors and doing the same. As I'm saying that, they are like opening, cracking up the door just a little bit and whisper. Pure cowardness and consistent cowardness. That's the thing. It's almost it's scary to like to live a life at this level of cowardness and try to sound godlike. But I think that's what they're skilled at, being coward. That's the bravery stand. So to all my target individual, for me, it's not stuff. Pedophilia thoughts, nastiness implanted in my brain. Ugh, manipulations in all kind of disgusting ways. And this disturbing, disgusting, as Jackie says it, may she rest in peace, she's no longer with us. Disgusting, disgusting, disgusting thoughts are implanted by this trash. Perceptions, all of this nasty pedophilia centric ways of manipulating people to think in that way and to break people down. As I'm saying that, they keep telling me how I'm going to be. They're waiting for me. They're going to do this for me. They're going to do this to me. They're going to, which is always to counter reality. And as I guess dying, which is true, I do believe my body's breaking down, my organs are failing. I will never look at these people as in, oh my gosh, first of all, you're God. No, I know that I'm just dealing with the bottom feeders here when it comes to even this program. And I know these people want me to subscribe to these things. And they've done so much manipulations and gaslighting methods. Not too long ago, they have this method of try to get you to gas. And then now it's becoming even super like slappy. I think because my brain has gone to the level of just close to insanity when it comes to thinking wise. They control my thoughts. When I work, especially, I've noticed that's when they try to do this thing of gaslighting. They try to make me think of certain ways all these things happening because of this. No, don't get it wrong. My coworkers, my colleagues, my employer, current employer are involved in my targeting, and I know there's something that they're kind of prepping for. I obviously know. They told me that the first time I started working, I remember having this conversation with this person. She was already telling me things they want. So she already let me know that she's part of this perping, and everybody else there. During even my interview, it was obvious. So I know that they're prepping for something. They're doing something, and so of course I'll be naive to think that they're not doing things. They're not involving in something. They're not doing something to break me down. This obviously some kind of involvement. Now I don't know what exactly. I don't know. I won't know anything until maybe when things are already done. But these people try to make me think in every ways possible to to like, oh, this is, like maybe she's doing this for that, like, and it goes a little too far, right? Most likely it is not the case. I know my brain's gonna go there, but at the same time, it is okay to feel to think twice about what they do. They are part of my targeting. They are perps. They do things. They say things. What exactly? I'm not 100% clear in regard of like, are they also playing with my body in certain ways, doing things? I remember, they play with my vocal cord. I remember I was presenting something, and as I'm speaking, it feel like closed something, and that my voice could start going up, like high pitch, and to start laughing, right? So I know they do these things, and I don't know how much they're doing, but I'm sure for sure they are definitely observing this happening to me. Now, these people are gonna try to do things to gaslight me and make me think in other ways, in kind of almost illogical ways. Oh, they're doing this because of that. It's not even like you're just pushing me to think like that. But I would definitely be paranoid about what somebody's doing that's breaking me down, or he's involved in my perping. So they try to use that moment. Oh, so you thought it was that, huh? But it's not true. You see, we're not doing this nasty things to you. We're not doing this pedophilia things. Yes, you're doing this pedophilia type of torture. Yes, my employer is involved in this, but this specific thing is you guys kind of forcing me to kind of push me to think this way. Now, of course, my paranoia is going to be super high with people who are involved in this program, in this as a perp. So I will never subscribe to this, and I don't know this is what they do. And so, um, just to also wrap things up here, you have obviously your colleagues that are just trying to get you to accept these things. Right? As you saw these videos earlier, your whole ecosystem is trying to make you subscribe to this thing. Matter of fact, I'm hearing my neighbors. Remember, Jackie saying, I don't know if the neighbors or people. I'm hearing this neighbor saying, "You like kids." They're trying to obviously talk about it in the pedophile way that they do things. And she was also try to counter that. You see a bunch of women there, right? This, and they're like, "Oh, you're not Wendy Brown." I was like, "I'm not Wendy Brown. I'm not Mariana. I'm not Jackie. I'm not Susan Olsen. I'm not Sandra Field. I'm not Cassandra Lewis. I'm not Kenneth Jones. I'm not Leslie Crawford. Like the list goes on. My point is, these people do horrible things to even women and children. A lot of them, right? Their job is to do nasty things to people. I'm here because I was put here by my first employer, my first and actually, honestly, my only real employer. And now I have these people here doing these nasty things to me. And some of them are like, "Oh, I have kids. Like, trash. You have kids and you do these nasty things. You're bottom feeder. You're trash. Nasty low life. This is even worse. There's nothing worse to have a mother who does these nasty things and try to use her children as a way to justify what they do. You have kids and you force people.
Zealand. I'm
And those that the crime is being committed against. We need your support and help in ending this crime.
Hello, my name is Wendy Brown. I'm a targeted individual who is living in New Zealand, but my targeting began in California. I'm an
Honestly, I'm my only real employer. And now I have these people here doing these nasty things to me. And some of them are like, oh, I have kids. Trash. You have kids and you do these nasty things. You're bottom feeder. You're trash. Nasty low life. This is even worse. There's nothing worse to have a mother who does these nasty things and try to use her children as a way to justify what they do. You have kids and you force people to think in these disgusting ways. And then try to say, I have kids. I'm doing it for my kids when I'm doing these things. When I'm forcing people to think in this way. I'm doing this thing. I'm forcing you to think this way for my kids. No, we just match. No, 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 no. You don't match. You're manipulating for your kids. Trash. I'm sorry. I was about to curse. You have these people who do in a program not only that manipulate people to think this way, but actually torture children. You have kids. What about those kids? You trash. So those are not good. No, these people are bottom feeders and they're low lives, especially the ones that have parents that have kids that have children and do this. You see this picture earlier. This are some of my colleagues. One of them is like they try this. I hate when they try to play this like feminist like industry, get on camera and be seen as if like me looking at you does not change how I feel about what you're part of or what you are. You're part of a program that does these nasty things. I know you guys do these things. The facade is not working. I understand. This is very it's governmental. This is CIA has a strong fingerprint on this thing. So you know the BS is going to be absolutely unbelievable. Professionalism beyond. They are so fraudulent that it's just unbelievable. And they to try to make you think that these people are just a different group of people because there's women and this. Come on, and they hear how systematic they do things. So to all my target individual, I'm going to experience these nasty things till perhaps the end, right? Now, throughout this whole process, I will not let them leave their fantasy. You are part of a program that is killing and torturing women today. Atrocities across the world, from New York, California to New Zealand. These people do the same things to women and children. They wanted to portray themselves as something else. Nope. You are part of this program that does these horrible things and torture women in the foulest ways, atrocities, and you call it being a war. You are here telling me you'll see how we're gonna frame you. You understand? This is the way these people live. They're doing these nasty things. They do these nasty things to you and want you to subscribe to it. I'm not gonna let them live the fantasy. They have complete manipulation, control, and can completely manipulate me in every ways. But I'm not gonna give them that fantasy. That's why I have this reality slash testimonies because they want to live a reality that's unreal. So this is why every time I make my testimonies, I talk about what they do, which at this point things are sounding very, very similar, day in and day out. It's about the same. I think since 2020, me talking about it, things haven't changed too much. But in fact, I say things that they're doing that I've talked about it in 2020. And they try to find ways to get you feeling and like embarrass you. I'm like, listen, I'm never going to be embarrassed by the things you do to me, the nasty bit of your thoughts. I know that and also they try to find things that just like random, like just so. Oh, remember when you're 16, you watched the delusional, and they're like, "Oh, you're sick." I'm like, "Okay, and you're very normal." So all my target individuals, stay strong. They're gonna break you down in any ways they can. Obviously, for me, I don't have any the ability to stop this technology to override my brain. I know they're gonna manipulate me and call it mapping. They map you to manipulate you. So this is how they're able to create these thoughts in your head in these disturbing ways. It's because they know your brain and they then manipulate your brain to think in these disgusting ways and make you think that these thoughts are just happening to you naturally. This is why this person said that. He was describing, target individual, and he said that, he used to work as a perp, and then, he started talking, and he became a perp himself, and he literally said they can override your thoughts. I didn't come up with this thing. I don't know this person. His thing is probably in 2000, I think 2014, before I knew anything about this. They literally say they can override your thoughts. They can make you think that your thoughts are yours when they're not. You saw that, and these people were like, "Oh, no, we just mapped it. We're not doing this." Are you serious? Do you think I'm gonna let you live your fantasy? They are gonna dumb themselves down, and I want them to continue to dumb themselves down. It's obvious they have these patterns of manipulating the minds in these disturbing pedophile ways, and they try to say, "No, we just mapped it." Oh gosh, now you manipulate my brain in these ways. How are you able to manipulate my brain? It's because you know my brain, and then you make me think in these disgusting ways, and make me think, and you try to pass it as if it's me. I know. This is why this man said that thing about they can make you think in these ways. You hear Jackie saying the disgusting, disgusting thoughts they put in his head. That's what they do, and that's what they're going to continuously do. To all my target individuals, stay strong.